There we go.
Hey! What's up?
Just a big old mucus factory over here.
Oh yeah, you're not feeling well. When do you get your results?
They said 48 to 72 hours.
Oh man, but it just feels like a cold so far. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you because I think a lot of the people watching this at all even know about who the heck I am because of our band and all the work that you do to promote the band and book the band and keep the band doing anything at all. And I think I'd like to hear from you how I guess I've always just admired how you've been able to do as much as you have, and we've remained pretty we're pretty self-contained still. Yes, we're signed, and yes, but for the most part, you've managed to just pull off such an incredible thing for our band, and I don't think people fully understand that and what it takes to put something out and have people hear about it.
I appreciate those kind words. Yeah, I mean, it does take a certain drive and determination and just fixation, I guess, to just keep pushing something when there's not really like a big machine behind you to do a lot of that heavy lifting.
Right.
So I don't know. It may be in part to some sort of strange personality quirk, and just an utter sense of shamelessness that I'm just going to keep putting this thing out there all the time. It doesn't really bother me.
Right.
But it's also, I mean, it would bother me if I was getting negative feedback for it, but it's like I can tell that, it's not too much, and it's like,
right, you're not overdoing it. You're just not giving up or not easing. You're not kind of like letting it. Doesn't seem like anything has slowed for you necessarily. Like you've taken advantage of this time where we don't necessarily have gigs, where we're putting out a live, another live disc, and you did Ghost Girl, like you've just been working really hard on this all along, and it's been cool. It's been inspiring for me because I feel like I'm resurrecting the dead with my like solo stuff, and I've lacked that discipline in the past. It took me having to slow my body down, and you basically have to just be okay with like sitting at a computer for a certain amount of time to just kind of make those things happen. Like that's a lot of what
right.
Outreach has to look like, and if you just can't sit still, and if you can't just stay on one thing for any length of time, you're not going to be able to do that.
I guess I also have the fact that I ride the train a lot around here, so thanks to smartphones and all, I'll just use my commute to make some social media posts or whatever. So that's kind of built in time to do stuff like that. But then the other side of the coin is, of course, that probably many of the people watching this are receptive to it, and they, if we didn't have people like that to help propagate what we do, then I could be posting and sending this out as much as I want, and it would mean nothing. So that's a huge part of the equation too.
Right. Would you ever be inspired to do what you do for any other bands, or does it have to be your favorite thing, like your baby?
I mean, I think if it was like a job, yeah, I think I could transfer. I think I could, yeah.
So
I mean, it would be.
So can I hire you?
I mean, if that's where you're going with this, I would definitely consider that, and that would be easier because
I'll just open for District 97.
Right, we can just get back to our roots.
Like the same band, but like totally different style. Yeah, remember when you did that? That was funny.
But I know you. I believe in what you do, so that wouldn't be that hard for me. I mean, if it was some band where I had to act like they were the greatest thing ever and I thought they were terrible,
that would suck.
I don't know.
That would be really hard. Yeah.
But I have thought about that, though. Like, I wonder, if I could transfer some of the skills I've developed for us to other contexts like that.
Right. I mean, it's a skill that, because it's such a learning curve for you, and you've just been like throwing stuff at the wall and just keeping track of all these different contexts, like all these different people that we know in all these different cities and all these venues, and people talk to us at all these venues and they're like, well, what about this venue? Try this next time. And like you're somehow able to like remember that and make that happen. It's like it's so cool. Such a skill. And we promote our music all the time, and you're the one that does all the social media, but you've been a hero of mine for sure in that regard, and how I wouldn't be where I am at all as a musician or as a I don't know, a singer or anything, or a composer, if it wasn't for how rewarding you kept the band for us. Like we've seen a steady incline of people that care, and that's because of you. And I'd like to generate some interest for my solo stuff. It's just hard to know where to begin. Yeah.
Well, Merry Christmas to you too. I do appreciate all that. I mean, of course, like without you, I mean, you are a huge, you are like a magnetic force that brings people in. So it's not as if I'm attracting people to a steaming dung heap here. It helps to have you out there.
Sometimes we get those live recordings back, and I'm like, that's a steaming dung heap. I was focused mainly on the dancing and not as much on like the pitch accuracy. It's hard to do it all. It's like juggling. So cool.
Well, you sound great on this thing we're going to be putting out in the spring.
Thanks.
But yeah, I mean, from what I saw with your campaign, it's went really well, and
yeah,
I think you've gotten a lot of really good engagement, and the live streaming that you've done that's not something I've ever done. So that's a cool
that's been fun too.
Kind of extra element that you've incorporated.
Mm-hmm. I live with my boyfriend is kicking ass on these streams. Like he's got such a cool like production mindset. Actually, it was actually his idea. He was just like, you should go live on Christmas Eve and donate. I'm actually donating half of the tips I received to the Chicago Food Depository.
Nice.
Which is like an undeniable cause. Everybody wants everybody to not be hungry. And he was just like, break it up with some cool conversations, and so
good old Lloyd.
How have you been utilizing this time? Have you been creative, or have you been more kind of administrative, or where has your artist taken you during this pandemic?
Sure. Well, since like after Labor Day, I've actually been working not that much less than usual because all this dance stuff started up again, and so I had a mix of that both in class and in person. Over Zoom and in person.
Oh, that's cool.
So that fulfills a certain kind of just everyday kind of thing.
Right.
So I haven't had like so much extra time the last few months as I did prior. But yeah, it's been, I mean, a lot of it, it's kind of been a lot of like, it's been harder for us to make new content, and I've kind of dragged my feet a little bit on getting my remote thing set up. That's the very next, I'm going to do it before the end of the year after I'm over this cold.
That'll be huge.
So yeah, I'm kind of thinking like, I kind of took the last few months, I did administrative things like you said, but also to kind of like assess stuff that we had already done over the years and figure out a way to kind of present that. And you mentioned the Ghost Girl video. That was a lot of fun to do.
Huge undertaking. There's so much back and forth about that.
Yeah, I'm hoping that will be like turn into a Halloween tradition or something over the years. We'll see.
Good video.
But yeah, so it's kind of like, I went back assembling this screenplay release, which should be out in March. So some of it is from when we were in Europe, 2019, but some of it reaches all the way back to 2010. So it's kind of like,
whoa, crazy.
Yeah.
It's like a decade.
Kind of curating this whole experience and just kind of taking stock of all that we did over this wild decade. And it's pretty, I don't know, it was kind of like, wow, we really actually did quite a bit. Like somehow we put a lot into this, and it's kind of cool to just look back on it. But I think like
there's a word for that. It's called sweat equity.
There you go. Yeah.
Two words. It's a phrase.
Yeah. I think I'm ready to get past that phase now and back to more creative stuff. I mean, I've been percolating things, but I haven't really had we haven't been getting together to rehearse or anything. So I guess the next thing, like I said, I'm going to get a remote recording.
Because we have a bunch of new songs that we need to finish, and I know everybody's waiting on me to get. But I mean, once I sit down with these songs, it's like the idea is just so it's really not a shortage of inspiration. It's just like that same kind of stillness that we were talking about, like kind of shutting everything out and prioritizing.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. I know you have a cold. Couldn't even tell.
Oh, appreciate that.
People are like, oh, like whatever they kind of like. You try to say M's, but they sound like B's.
Right.
But no, you did great. Thanks for chatting with me. I really
appreciate pleasure.
it. Is there anything else you want to bring up? Anything else? This is all related and stuff like that.
Sure. I don't know. I guess this is like the one time I don't have. Well, we can always throw in the Inside the Ball Club, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's talk briefly about our Inside the Ball Club, which is
right.
It's our monthly subscription service that has been it's been really we haven't been able to tour. We haven't been able to really hardly do anything. So just having that club still going, and
it keeps us upwardly mobile to be able to continue as a band and make things happen.
Totally, yeah. So just to have the support of the members still there each month has been incredible, and the members obviously get exclusive music from us every month. And I'll drop a sneak peek on at least what my thought is for next year's release. And I was mentioning, getting my remote recording thing up and running. So I'm hoping we can put out a little EP of new songs for the members next year that kind of can portend what our next album would be like, kind of like demos, but that sound better than hopefully a regular, more polished than the normal demo, but kind of between that and like a finished studio thing.
Right.
So that's sort of what I'm thinking we can do for our exclusive physical release next year for the Inside the Ball Club. Yeah. So people go check that out at our website, district97.net. And thanks for watching and for paying attention to us in this crazy year.
Yeah, we really appreciate everybody that has kept in touch. Our fans are mighty and very kind and very generous, and we're super lucky to have grabbed people's attention in the way that we have. And it's
definitely
a lot to do with your tenacity, my friend. Thanks.
Well, and it's a lot. It's a lot to do with your magnetic pole as well.
Magnetic pole. Oh, I love it. If you've got a card, pull it. Yep. Thanks. I hope you feel better soon.
Oh, thank you.
And I hope you have a wonderful holiday, whatever that looks like.
Yeah, same to you and all your peeps.
Appreciate it. All right, have a good evening. Bye, John.
You too. Bye.